In late 1932, the Western Australian outback became the unlikely battleground for a bizarre and unprecedented conflict known as the Emu War. This unique confrontation was not a traditional war, but rather a desperate attempt by Australian farmers and the military to control a burgeoning emu population that threatened their livelihoods. Set against the backdrop of the Great Depression, this episode is a striking example of unexpected wildlife challenges colliding with human interests. Veterans of World War I, settled by the Australian government on farmlands in Western Australia, faced severe economic difficulties due to the Depression. These new farmers were promised subsidies and support, but the government was very slow to deliver. As they struggled to convert harsh land into wheat fields, another crisis emerged with the migration of thousands of emus at the onset of the breeding season. Drawn to the area by abundant water and food, these large, flightless birds began devastating the crops, jeopardizing the farmers' already precarious financial situation. Emus, native to Australia, are among the largest birds in the world, capable of standing up to 6 feet tall and running at speeds exceeding 30 miles per hour. In 1932, their migration patterns led them directly to the cultivated lands where they found plentiful food and water. Groups of up to 1,000 emus were reported to invade the farms, consuming and trampling the crops, and breaking through fence lines despite the farmers' efforts to repel them. The farmers, at their wits' end, sought government intervention. This led to the military involvement, with soldiers led by Major GPW Meredith, armed with 2 Lewis guns and 10,000 rounds of ammunition. The operation began in November 1932 under the expectation that it would quickly reduce the emu numbers and protect the farmers' harvest. The military's initial strategy was to herd the emus into an ambush where they could be mowed down en masse. However, the birds proved remarkably difficult to manage. During the first engagement near Campion, soldiers found themselves outmaneuvered by the emus' unpredictable movements. The birds split into small groups and ran so sporadically that they were difficult to target. The soldiers adjusted their tactics, setting up near water holes where the birds congregated. Yet even with the element of surprise, the emus' exceptional speed and the terrain's cover allowed them to escape with minimal casualties. Frustrations mounted as the soldiers attempted a new tactic, mounting a Lewis gun on a truck, a mobile strategy that they hoped would match the speed of the emus. This too proved ineffective. The terrain was too tough for rapid vehicle movement, and the jostling made accurate shooting impossible. Reports from the time humorously note that the emus could outrun the trucks and seemed to be learning from each engagement, further evading capture and casualty. As the operation dragged on, public perception shifted from supportive to critical. The media, both in Australia and internationally, began to ridicule the efforts, portraying the military endeavor as a comical farce. In Parliament, the government was criticized for the expense and the apparent futility of the campaign. The optics of soldiers firing machine guns at birds were not only problematic, but also painted a picture of a profound absurdity. By early December, it was clear that the military intervention was a failure. The military withdrew, having officially recorded the deaths of about 986 emus at a significant cost in ammunition and military resources. Major Meredith's reports conveyed a grudging respect for the emus, liking their resilience to that of Zulu warriors. In the aftermath, the government provided more support to the farmers through bounty systems and then later, the construction of exclusion barriers, which proved more effective. The Emu War remains a strange episode in Australian history, illustrating the challenges of managing human-wildlife conflicts. It highlights the limitations of using military force in environmental management and stands as a lesson in the unpredictability of nature. This story not only reflects on the unexpected challenges in the Australian bush, but also of the ingenuity and resilience of both humans and wildlife. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and don't be afraid to leave any suggestions in the comments.